Well, happy Wednesday, everyone. I hope you're doing amazing. I hope you precious peeps are doing great. And so today we're going to finish the end of chapter 4 in the book of John. And we're going to see some similarities and differences from where we saw Jesus and the disciples in Samaria. Hi, I'm Pastor Mark. We are going through the Bible in 5 years, and we would love it very much if you would join us. So subscribe to this channel and be a part of that with us on a daily basis. So let's dive into John, the end of chapter 4. After the 2 days, he left for Galilee. Now Jesus himself had pointed out that a prophet has no honor in his own country. When he arrived in Galilee, the Galileans welcomed him. They had seen all that he had done in Jerusalem at the Passover festival, as they had also been there. Once more, he visited Cana in Galilee, where he turned the water into wine. And there was a certain royal official whose son lay sick at Capernaum. When this man heard that Jesus had arrived in Galilee from Judea, he went to him and begged him to come and heal his son, who was close to death. "Unless you people see signs and wonders," Jesus told him, "you will never believe." The royal official said, "Sir, come down before my child dies." "Go," Jesus replied, "your son will live." The man took Jesus at his word and departed. While he was still on the way, his servants met him with the news that his boy was living. When he inquired as to the time when his son got better, they said to him, "Yesterday at 1 p.m, the fever left him." Then the father realized that this was the exact time at which Jesus had said to him, "Your son will live." So he and his whole household believed. This was the second sign Jesus performed after coming from Judea to Galilee. Wow, just a short 9 verses today. But let's look a little bit about what happened here. Now, Jesus, starting in chapter 4, Jesus is in Jerusalem. He is getting some notoriety. He knows his time is not ready yet, so he's going back to his country. He's going back to Galilee, and he decides to go through Samaria. And when he does, he meets with the woman in the well, and they believe on him because of his word. There's no miracles shown here, but yet they believe that he is the Messiah. And that's amazing. So Jesus goes back, and he has now set up his home base in Capernaum, but he goes to Cana. And as he on his way into Galilee, he stops in Cana, where he had originally did his first miracle of changing the water into wine. And so there is a royal nobleman who comes seeking Jesus to heal his son. Now, who is this nobleman? What's a nobleman doing up in Galilee and not in Jerusalem? Well, this nobleman is probably with Herod, and he is the other tetrarch who ruled over the northern part here. So he probably worked in that royal area around in Samaria, in Galilee. And so at that point, he goes from Capernaum to Canaan. He runs. It's about 20 miles. He runs to get to Jesus to ask him to heal his son. And Jesus says a very interesting statement. He says, you guys are always looking for a miraculous sign in order to believe. And so what Jesus does here, he doesn't go with him to Capernaum. He says, "Go your way, your son lives." 6 words. That's in the New King James Version. 6 words. Go your way, your son lives. And the nobleman goes his way because he believes Jesus. And this is the point where there is the contention that Jesus talked about. The Samaritans believed from his word, and they didn't have any miraculous signs. But the Jews are the ones that are always demanding miraculous signs. It's not so much that this nobleman was demanding a sign. He was at the point of desperation. He runs from Capernaum to Canaan. But then he takes a whole another day to go back to Capernaum. Isn't that interesting? He really believed that Jesus healed his son. He runs to Capernaum, but he walks. He runs to Cana, but he runs to Cana, but he walks back to Capernaum. This is showing of faith. And sure enough, his son lives. Jesus wants us to believe him at his word. Listen, miracles are great, but Jesus' word stands forever, and we need to believe on it, regardless of whether there's miracles or not. God is God, and we need to believe what he says. And that's what makes the difference in our lives, not the miracles. If we just depend on miracles, then we're no better than the Jews. We need to be believing his word and believing what he says. And Jesus has said a lot. That's why we read the Bible. And so I want to encourage you to read God's word and believe on it, because it's true. Every word of it. Well, you guys have a great day. Hope your Wednesday is an amazing day, and we will be talking to you tomorrow.